Theresa May's government must have been looking at the Guardian's reports of Theresa May's immigration policy, bringing untold and wholly undeserved misery to as yet uncounted families. They must have been looking at it. They must have been recognising it. They must have been registering it. And they must have been hoping two things. Number one, they must have been hoping that it would just die down and go away. Or number two, and this is the frightening one, and at the moment, I'm afraid it fits, they must have been banking on the British public not caring about these older men and women in the way that they would about a different kind of older man and woman. They must have been banking on the British public not getting behind the Windrush children because they're not the same as them. She appears to have misjudged the mood, but only for now. Have you got a better explanation for how a Home Office can be contacted weekly with painstaking detail of what was happening to these men and women, these British men and women? And then 6 months later, only when the scandal has assumed a momentum that probably even the journalists who've undertaken these reports weren't expecting, only when the scandal has assumed a momentum that demanded public attention, did they even acknowledge what they've known about for years in general and have been told about for months in detail. That, to me, I have a slight tendency to hyperbole. I appreciate that. And I catch myself sometimes, and I say to myself, no, don't go too far. I think this is the greatest political scandal of my life. And the reason I think that is simple. I just imagine that it was my mum. I just imagine that it was my mum who was told that she had no right to be here. I imagine it was my mum who was receiving letters telling her that she could be removed from the country. I imagine it was my mum that was drummed out of her job on the makeup counter at Owen Owens in Kidderminster because she couldn't provide the documentation to prove that she had the right to be here. She just had the knowledge that she'd been here for 50 years. My mum was born in Sheffield, not in Jamaica. But I don't see the difference. Do you?